Hello. I've been working on this new set of digital photography videos that I've mentioned, and I thought I'd take a quick break to tell you a bit more about them. Now, it's not much of a break, I suppose. I've been working on recording videos and here I am recording a video. But it's something a bit different, and at least I get to sit down for all of this one, whereas sometimes in the others I'm stood up showing you how the camera actually works. So it's a little bit of a break. The videos play on your computer, and in them I'll be showing you how you do things using your digital camera, how the different features actually work and when to use them, and how to get the best out of them, when it's worth using them or when it's better to use a different trick. And also what to do with the digital photos once you've taken them, how to put them onto your computer and how to do some basic editing and printing them out, how to get the best results when you want to print them, and how to share them as well, either by emailing or using some web services. In fact, I've got a bit of a list here of some of the things that are included because there's too much for me to remember when I'm talking to a camera. So here are some of the things that they cover. Just make sure I'm on the right page. So there's 2 sets, and each set has got 6 different videos in it, 6 lessons if you like, although it's not exactly like being back at school. So here are a few highlights of some of the things that are in them. This is from the first set, this is the camera set. So this is the set of videos that's about how to use the actual camera and how to actually take the pictures. We'll come on to the other set in a moment. So this set is mainly me demonstrating how to actually use the camera, or showing you good and bad samples of photos that have been taken using different settings and why that setting was a good choice for that photo or not, or just situations in which you use some of the features on your camera. And I'll start off by talking about what the features are. Things like what megapixel means. You hear everyone talk about different cameras and they say, oh, this one's great, it's got 5 megapixels. What does that mean? So I'll explain what that actually means and why you care about it. I'll talk a bit about what to look for in a camera, all the different features and whether they're important or not. There are some that some manufacturers make a big deal about that actually aren't really worth having. And there are others that are great for some people, but you might not be interested in. And then there are other features that really are important. So I'll go through all of those and what the difference is. Then I'll go on to some of the features of the camera. The zoom. There's 2 different types of zoom on most digital cameras nowadays. And only one type is worth using. The other type, to be honest, I wouldn't recommend using at all. So I'll explain how the 2 different types work, what the difference is, and which one you should be using. Which one you shouldn't. I'll talk about the flash, the various settings. That most digital cameras have got several different settings for the flash, including one to reduce red eye, and I'll explain why I normally don't use that setting, even if I think I might get red eye in a photo. Talk about the timer and continuous shooting, which is another timer setting on a lot of cameras. And there's a trick that fashion photographers use to get good pictures. If you're a fashion photographer, you're making a living by your photos, you've got to get good pictures, and there's a trick they use to get good pictures all the time, and you can use it too. And I'll talk about the presets that a lot of digital cameras come with. There's lots of different presets. Some cameras have got a few, some cameras have got lots. They're very easy to use once you know about them and know how to use them. And they're a good idea because they can make your photos easier. It can be as simple as you turn a dial on the top of the camera and your photos are better. And I like that kind of thing. I like things that are very easy to do but make a big difference. And I'll talk through what the different presets are, how to use them and when to use the different ones. So there's things like a preset for portrait photos, landscape photos or scenery, sports, nighttime. I'll talk a bit about how to take photos in nighttime or low light at dusk or dawn. There's a few tricks for that as well. So that's all in the set of videos about the camera. The other set is about what to do with the photos once you've got them onto the computer. So this is mainly recording of doing things on the computer where you will actually see the computer screen instead of the camera. And you'll hear me talking through exactly what I'm doing, where I'm clicking, where to point the mouse, where to drag things, and so on. So I'll start with putting the photos onto the PC. There's 2 different ways of doing that, and I'll cover both of them. how to organise them on your computer, how to put them into folders, and the viewer so that you can look at them and rotate them if you've taken some at a right angle and you want to see them the right way up. And then we'll go on to printing them. Even though they're digital photos, most people like to have at least some of them on paper, either for a photo album or to put up around the house. And you can either print them out on your printer at home, or you can use a company like Jessops or Boots. Either go into the store or you can send them off online. So I'll go through the pros and cons of doing it each way and how to get the best results if you do decide to print them out yourself. It can make a huge difference. Even just what paper you use can make a big difference. Then I'll go on to editing the pictures. Now, not everyone bothers to edit their digital photos, but it's not as hard as it used to be. I'll start off by telling you what program I recommend and giving you a link to download that program so that you can install it. And that's a free program and you don't have to register. In the past I've had trouble with this, that I've always been trying to recommend a good program, but all the best ones you had to register and you had to ring up and get a code, and then they tried to hard sell you something else, and it was a bit of a difficulty because I wanted to recommend the best program, but on the other hand I didn't want to put people through all this hassle of registering. Well, now I found one that is my favourite program to use. It's the one I use, but it's also free and you don't have to register it. You just install it and there you go, carry on using it. So I'll talk you through that, how to install it, and then I'll show you how to use it. So you can do things like getting rid of any red eye, you can lighten or darken photos, and even change the colour slightly. I had some photos I took when Alistair was first born that were inside, and because of the colour of the curtains and the light was coming through the curtains, they've all got a yellowy tinge to them. And it was a bit disappointing because everyone looked a bit yellow, but using this program I've very easily been able to change them so that they look more natural, and I wish I'd done it months ago, a year ago more, when he was first born. Then I'll come on to how to share your photos. So you can send them by email, and I'll go over how to do that in Windows Live Mail or Outlook Express, or if you use Yahoo or Hotmail, how to send them as attachments, and what to do if you've got lots and they're too big to send as an email. Excuse me. I'll also talk through how to use a site called Flickr, and this is a website that makes it very easy for you to share your photos with lots of people. I use it mainly for pictures of Alistair and soon for Bump when his little sibling comes along. So you can see, for example, our webpage on it is www.flickr.com. There's no E in Flickr, that's presumably how they trademark it. /photos/Jules and Tim. I'll put that up on the screen as well so you don't have to catch what I'm saying there. And that's a really good way for sharing photos with your family and friends. What I've tried to include are the little easy tricks that can gain you a lot for not too much effort. Things where just knowing one setting can make your photos much better, or knowing one trick can give you a whole new type of photo that you can take very easily without much effort. Or some of the editing things where just changing one setting can make your photo look a lot better for not very much effort. And those are the kind of things that I've tried to include, lots of things that can very easily give you better photos. So I hope you found that a bit interesting and that you now have a better idea of what's coming up in these videos.